So sometimes people will ask me, Ellen, how did you become a lawyer and a business owner? What a rare combination. Did you always intend for that? And the short answer is no. I never wanted to be a business owner, although I did want to be a lawyer for a while. So I want to share in this video about my journey from law school to where I am now, and also some family influences along the way that helped me to shape my decisions to get to where we are today. So I graduated from law school at UC Berkeley in 2003, and I wasn't really sure what to do with my law degree. I was always inspired by my dad, who was a civil rights attorney. He worked for ACLU, and he helped to desegregate different government institutions, which I was so inspired by. I actually wanted to do women's rights work for a while, but I just thought really helping people through the law was where I wanted to go. So I graduated from law school. I had a year-long clerkship in Philadelphia for an amazing judge, and it was way too cold there. I moved back to California and I worked at a big firm for 3 years. I loved Morrison & Foerster, but hated the work. I'm not a litigator. I did patent and securities litigation. All right, and I realized through that process, I don't like fights. I don't like going to court. No, thank you. Okay, so then I was like, what am I gonna do? So I actually went to teach at a small private school that does full inclusion of typical and special needs kids called Hope Technology School. My kids actually go there right now. And I taught there for a year. I taught middle school math and I helped start a high school program. And it was there that I heard an attorney talk about special needs planning. And that really piqued my interest. I thought, oh, you can really help people in this field. That's great. You can earn a living. That's great. You can have a family. That's great. All of this sounds really good. So I did a search and I started working for a firm in Palo Alto doing estate planning with a focus on special needs planning. I actually did some litigation for them for about a year to kind of earn my way in, but then I was able to switch over to estate planning. So I always wanted to help the special needs community. I think I had done some volunteer work in the special needs community. Now I'm a special needs parent. My husband was a special needs teacher. So my heart was always there. So I always thought, I'm just gonna work at a firm. Great, I'll be a worker bee. That sounds good to me. I was really afraid of like running a business, the ups and downs of the money, cash flow, having to figure out all the different, computer stuff, and everything that comes with business ownership. There was hardly anybody in my family who's a business owner, and none of us really thought about it. But I was at 2 different firms for about 6 years, and it just became clear it wasn't the right fit at either one. And so I took a step back. I interviewed a lot of people, and they were all like, Ellen, you could totally do this. You should go out on your own. And again, my huge fear is coming up, like business ownership, that's too much responsibility. I have mouths to feed. At around the same time, my husband had lost his job as a special ed teacher. And so is he going to go back to work? And then we have 2 little kids at home. So how are we going to, juggle all of this? I didn't know. But I think in my ignorance, I thought, well, I'll give it a try. So I hung out my shingle, and this was in 2015, and started the practice. And you know what? I love it. I love being a business owner. I don't like the ups and downs of cash flow and that sort of thing, but the rest of it really makes up for it. I love being able to serve people the way that I think they should. And so as time has gone by, I've realized that there's really 3 family influences that have helped me to get where I am today. And the first one I want to mention, because remember I said nobody in my family does business, but I actually do have one, and her name was Tillie Lewis. So Tillie was my mother's father's aunt, my grandfather's aunt, and she has an amazing story. So Tillie and her husband at the time ran a grocery store in Brooklyn, New York, and they featured imported goods, including canned tomatoes from Italy. And my aunt really took an interest in these canned tomatoes, and she wanted to start her own cannery. So she moved from Brooklyn, New York. She wasn't married at the time. She moved from Brooklyn, New York, all the way over to Stockton, California. And she started a cannery in Stockton. And she moved there with her 3 nephews, including my grandpa, Arthur Heiser. Okay, so the 3 of them were there. My grandpa managed the cannery. Al, his brother, was a salesperson there. And then Saul, he went and he was a doctor. He was an amazing guy too, but not in the business.
Hey everyone, If you like my mom's video, like and subscribe.
So Tillie started working with the farmers in the Central Valley area who started growing these tomatoes that were otherwise available in Italy, but the US government had imposed high tariff, a 50% tariff on imported goods from Italy. So that was too expensive to import them, so she started growing them here, along with other canned vegetables. And this was during the time that there were no freezers, so canned goods was the way to go. So during World War II and the Korean War, Till Products, which was the name of her company at the time, they were one of the largest suppliers of food to the Army. So I'm so proud of her for starting this up, and I'm just really inspired by Tillie. She was a Jewish woman who beat the odds in the early 20th century, and she grew to the 5th largest canning business in the United States. Sometimes I have clients from the Stockton area who have parents or grandparents, especially women of color, who worked in, I call her Auntie Chips, in Auntie Chips's cannery. And that was the only place that they could find employment. And it was seasonal. They would all get together and do the canning business, during the harvest season. And they'd be able to talk with each other. And many of them have very good memories from that. So then also, I do come from a family of attorneys, you should know. So my grandpa, Art Heiser, who moved out here with Tillie, he actually got his law degree. But during the Depression, there weren't really any jobs. So he became the manager of a cannery, but he always had a vision for his daughters, my mom and aunt, or others, which turned out to be me. I'm the one who became a lawyer. He always wanted to have a descendant who was a lawyer, and that was me. And I also mentioned my dad, who did civil rights work, and he became the dean of Temple Law School, and he was the dean for many years. Now, I do want to mention, my dad was really afraid of me starting out my own business because he saw so many people in his job as dean, graduating law students who went and immediately hung up their own shingle and failed. Their business failed. So after 6 years of practice, when I went out on my own, my dad was really skeptical, but he kept his mouth shut. And after about a year and a half, 2 years, he realized, oh, this is actually working. And now he's one of my biggest supporters. So not everybody has to have a vision if you're looking to go out on your own. I think it's great. We don't hear enough of people who are really blazing a new path in their family. And then I also want to mention the amazing teachers that we have in my family. So my mom, she actually got a PhD in nutrition, and she taught at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for several years. And she's always been a teacher. So whether she was teaching preschool or teaching, as a dietitian, and she even does that now, whether we want to hear her suggestions or not. She's always instructing people. And then my aunt, Barbara Heiser, was a special ed teacher for many years in the Stockton School District, and she still has a heart for teaching and for special needs. So as I step back, I see how all these influences really shaped who I am today as a business owner, with the hints of Tillie Lewis, as an attorney. And I feel like as an attorney, I'm also a teacher, because in our firm, we want people to understand what they're signing. A lot of this is letting people know, having this YouTube channel is letting people know, how does this all work, translating it for folks. So I feel so grateful for all of my family members who helped shape what our firm is, and to be able to build it as a business, because now with a larger staff, we're able to serve more of our clients, and we have just more availability, more sets of eyes looking over documents to make sure that we're not making any mistakes, we don't miss anything, and we can also creatively brainstorm on behalf of our clients to make sure that we really have, the best options available. So I encourage you to reach out to us so we can help you with your estate planning journey.
Hello everyone! If you liked my mom's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all next time!